All right, it's Tuesday, March 5, just about 10 a.m. on the West Coast right now. And today I did blow up a evaluation. It wasn't actually a terrible day as far as my trading went. I was 6 and 2 for 75%. And the thing I did some things different today because right off the bat, we had this really strong move down when I was starting my day. I was starting somewhere right around here, 6:55 ish in the morning, and right away, it wasn't very hard. For anyone that's been following me, my strategy is to go through different size tick charts and find four different size tick charts that all have charts where every second entry is working for my profit target. That's basically my strategy in a nutshell right now. And when I started today, I found four charts easy enough that were all good, had all winning entries for the overnight and into the early part of the regular session. And just one by one in rapid fire, charts just started picking up entries that were not working for the targets and they were losing entries. And it was like as soon as I can find a chart that I liked, it was pretty much as soon as another one would drop off. And once a chart has an entry that doesn't work for the target, I no longer will trade that chart typically, or at least I'll wait until the chart proves that it gets consistent again. And maybe it was just a blip on the radar and just one loss, but it's going to go on to continue to be a winning chart. So today, the nature of how things looked, where I was just constantly finding charts and then having to scrap them and find new charts because the charts weren't holding up, right away made me feel like, okay, today might not be a great day for me. And I was thinking back to last Tuesday where I started off, my first trade was a loss. Then I got a win, and then my second trade was a loss. And I think I blew up an account that day as well. So if you go back to last Tuesday, it may not be so different as today. I can't remember exactly offhand, but I believe I blew up an evaluation that day too. And what I do on these days so far, and I think this is the right thing for me to do, is I concentrate on protecting my most important Apex accounts, and that is my risk strategy. So today, because of the nature of how the day was going, where accounts were just being blown up, or not accounts were being blown up, but charts were being blown up right and left. And I say blown up in terms of getting entries that weren't working for the profit target and having to scrap them because it was happening just in such a rapid pace, one after another. And I mean, by the end of the day, I probably went through 40 different size tick charts just to keep trading. And that's how I ended up having 8 trades today. But, what I was trying to say was protecting my most important Apex accounts today was my risk strategy. And that's why I ended up taking all 8 trades on only one account, which was this evaluation 26, which you can see here in the R Trader. And this account is now, after 5 days, officially blown up. So this is in admin. And the reason why I did that is because, typically on good days, that just doesn't happen to my charts. My charts stay good for a long time. I don't have to start searching for new charts inside of the first minutes of starting the day, typically. And even when I do, by the time I find like a replacement chart or two, usually that's able to stay consistent and strong for a big part of my morning. So because of that, I decided early on, okay, I'm going to take a trade on evaluation 26. It was my worst standing account. It was below starting balance only by a couple $100, but obviously it wasn't a full drawdown. Probably had about 1,100 in drawdown total. And so I said to myself, okay, well, today is not unlike any other day. So if I have a chart that has all wins, I'm going to take the entry. So as you're seeing here, this is the first chart that I played, and this was the first trade of the day that got the loss. And before I get to that, let me just say, this evaluation, I write here, I lost $29.70. I went about my day saying I'm either going to bring this back to like break even today or I'm going to blow it up. But I was using today as like a forward testing live market situation. So, you know, that was kind of my mindset today is I wanted to see how the day would play out in terms of my win percentage, how many wins and losses moving through the day on a day like today where the charts aren't holding up like I talked about. So I look at it like I lost $29.70 for the month of trading this account. This account still had a couple weeks, I believe, left before renewal. So, you know, even though it says that I lost $1,044, it doesn't feel to me like I lost $1,044 today. Today actually feels to me like a flat day because right off the bat, I knew that today was just not a good day for my strategy in the charts. And then I took my first trade and it was a loss. And this was a rather large signal bar, basically 80 ticks. So my risk was 80 ticks. And when I got that loss, it was like over $800 loss on the trade on two contracts. And so right off the bat, because of that loss, I was about 300 away, maybe even a little less to the drawdown. And so what I decided, because of, again, the way the charts looked, and because now I had my first loss of the day, I decided, okay, I'm only going to trade this one account. It was virtually blown anyway. And I said, okay, let's just go about the day where I find new charts whenever I lose a chart and just try to trade them and take every entry like I'm supposed to. And let's see if I can build it back to where it can be, you know, to where I started, you know, or blow it up because it was virtually blown up anyway. So that's how I went about the day. Let me take this stuff off the chart here and we can talk about the day here. So, all right. So as you can see, a big move down. And the interesting thing was, if you measure it, not that I was doing this, but you already had two legs down. And if you measure a third leg down, you know, there was a little bit further to go from that point. And you can see it kind of steadied out at that point after the third leg. So, but the fact that there was two legs down and I was getting an entry after a third leg down and a new low, I was thinking, well, there was plenty of room to EMA. I'm supposed to take every entry. It wasn't a good signal bar, but I don't care about signal bars or rules or anything really. And so I went ahead and took this trade. It worked in my favor for a little bit. Didn't quite get to my target, came up a little shy. Let's see, the high here was 82.75 was when I got in, and the high here was 86.50. Is that right? So 82.75, 86.50. I mean, it should have, unless I'm imagining things, it really should have worked. I mean, 85.75 would have been 3 points. So maybe it just didn't even take me out of the trade when it was supposed to. Maybe it happened so fast it wasn't able to do it. I'm not sure. I'm a little baffled, unless I'm looking at this wrong way. 82.75 and the high here is 86.50. So 85.75 would be 12 ticks. Oh wait, 12 ticks plus 3, 15 ticks. I see. Okay, I see what happened here. So because my strategy is to go for more than 11 ticks now, I'm trying to capture more than 11. My strategy actually at 16 ticks moves the auto stop up. So I was actually 1 tick shy of locking in the profit on this target. I didn't even realize this this whole day until coming back and looking at this now. So if I was only going for 11 ticks, I actually would have won this trade. And maybe that's another thing I might need to consider, is just on days where I'm seeing the charts are just not holding up. Maybe I just need to go back to my normal scalping for 11 ticks on these kinds of days. I haven't really kind of played with that. I've liked going for the more ticks and using my auto stop strategy at this point that I've been using lately, if you've been following my journey. And so it's been working really good overall. I've been getting, trades where I'm getting 15, 17, 20. Yesterday I had a 26 tick profit instead of just getting 11. So I've been liking that, but this cost me a win here. I can see. So actually keeping that in mind, today could have been a bit better for me, potentially if I think about going back to just 11 ticks on days that aren't looking great. But anyway, that's not what I did today. There was also on another chart, a trade I tried to take just before this, that was up here somewhere. And that trade would have lost. And I actually tried to enter the trade, and just my order entry didn't move in time for when the trade got triggered. And that would have been a loss too. So even if I had been doing things differently, I would have picked up a loss before this one, and then this could have been a loss or a win, depending on what I did. But, this is how I played it today, and I got to accept the loss. So I was down over 800 on the first trade, and so I decided I'm only going to trade with this account for the rest of the day, win or lose, and I'm either going to blow up the account or I'm going to get it back, is kind of the mentality. And I just, because of the way the day looked and the charts looked, I didn't want to risk any of these other accounts. And I'm actually fine with that and how the way things worked out. So after this first loss, I moved on to this chart here. And you can see I got a bunch of trades all back to back here. Here we go. So same idea. Trade 2, was counter trend, also got the win. Trade 3, counter trend, terrible signal bar, got the win. Trade 4, at least with the direction of the market and a legit looking second entry right off the EMA, this is probably the best looking trade I've taken in a long time as far as how the setup looks. Got the win, 17 ticks. So you can see trade 5 all on this one chart. This was the only chart I had left, I think, at this point. Trade 5 engulfing, got the win. Now this one actually came back and would have stopped me out, but because I was trading this one account and I had picked up some wins, I was just trying to fight back. And so my mentality the rest of the day was, well, I was 300 away from drawdown. And this is kind of what Apex does when you're trading Apex accounts versus a live account. You have to think about the trailing drawdown. So all of these trades, by the way, I only traded with one contract. So this is the reason why I wasn't back into the green after these 5 trades, was because I'm always trading 2 contracts on my 25K accounts and my PA accounts. And because I was so close to trailing drawdown, I had to go down to 1 contract to make sure that I didn't hit the trailing drawdown mid-trade and potentially blow up the account, even though it would have turned into a winning trade potentially. So because of that, but knowing that I'm willing to blow up the account at any point today, I moved my stop. So it came down, it would have stopped me out. This would have been a loss, but my strategy at this point was, the account itself was my risk, my total risk. And I was willing to blow it or bring it back because I don't want to concentrate and trade this account on future days if the account's not going to be in a position to pass in a reasonable amount of time. I'd rather it blow up and focus on other accounts. And if you go back and look at the past few days, I've been trading this account first and it's been under the starting balance each and every day. And so really it's been stealing a profit that could have been going to a more important account. because I've been trading that way. So now all of my accounts are in good standing. And so no matter which account I start with, the account will be similar to many of the other ones. So like if I start with the evaluation 33, you can see this balance is similar to evaluation 35. So if I were to pick up a loss on either one of those accounts, well, I still have the other one in the same place, and then other accounts that are even further along. So that's the idea, as well as, potentially being able to get to PA account, and get profit on those instead of it going to account 26. So this one worked out for me where I moved the stop. I was willing to let it blow up if it continued to move down. In this case, it would have came down, stopped me out, only to then go ahead and work for the target. So this turned into a win, using my strat in that way. And then I moved on to, let's see here. Then I moved on to this chart. As you can see here, trade 6. Again, not a great signal bar. It was a new low of a day. But I had a second entry. There was a first entry right here and a second entry. So I went ahead, took it, got an easy 15 ticks on that one. And at this point of trades, well, actually trade 6, and then right away. So I took this trade, and then right after this trade, I had this chart also. And you got to remember, this whole day, every time a chart picks up a new loss, I'm looking for another chart. So I looked through so many charts today. But you can see here that right after my last trade, I went ahead and took this trade. And this trade was good for 10 ticks. And so at this point, I was about 200 to 300, if I remember correctly, away from being break even for the day. Now, if I was able to trade 2 contracts on all of these trades, I would have been green already. And maybe I should have changed to 2 contracts by this point, by either trade 6 or trade 7. I probably had just enough cushion, but what I was concerned about was just if I got into this trade and then it pulled all the way back like this, that with 2 contracts could have easily taken me out of the trade and blown up the account right there. So I didn't want to risk blowing up the account on a winning trade. So at this point, I was getting really close to having brought the account all the way back. And so then I went back to the previous chart that I had just traded. And, when I'm analyzing and thinking about the chart and the context of the chart, I took this trade based on the fact that this chart was now a winning chart. It had one loss way earlier on, but the whole rest of the day, it had winning trades. If I go through and let's see. If I go through and count the number of winning trades on this chart, going all the way back to when the session opened, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 winners in this whole span, and only 1 loss somewhere in here, I think. I think it was this. It would have been a second entry that didn't make the profit target and would have stopped out. So this chart was overall very good, even though it had that 1 loss here. It went on after that loss and had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 winners. Now I didn't come to this chart until I took this winner here. So I had missed a bunch of winners because I wasn't looking at this chart anymore. But by the time I was still looking to continue trading, and now at this point, like I said, I was within just a couple hundred of being back to a break even on the account. I went ahead and took this trade, even though, again, what I was about to say was made a new low, and now we're above the EMA, and it's kind of like a failed breakout of the bottom, and now clearly it's kind of rangy, but there's room to these highs, and I'm entering below a bullish bar right above the EMA. So logically, in terms of analysis, I know that this isn't a great trade to take. But because what my game plan and my edge is to just take every trade, because you'd be surprised how many times a trade like this will actually still work, even though it's a bad looking trade. So, of course, this turned against me right away. I moved the stop out of the way. Again, just willing to blow up the account at any given time, because I'm willing to risk that $29.70 for the cost of the account, rather than waste more time with this account in future days being below the starting balance and not having a full drawdown when I have other really good accounts to focus on. So then I'm still in this trade. I wasn't stopped out, and I noticed that this started to work back. And so a la Alpine Trader, if anyone watches him, I decided that I would try to add a contract here and scalp out. And I actually was able to do that successfully. It's funny, this moved down. I was thinking about doing it, moved down to the bottom of this candle and moved back up before I did it. And so I was waiting to see if it was just going to shoot up, or if it was going to come back down and close down here. Then I wanted to enter the trade and try to get the scalp. And that worked. I was able to scalp out here. I picked up a few points. Let's see. 47.50 to 41.25. So I was actually able to pick up 6.25 points right there on that scalp. And when I got out of this trade, this added contract, I actually was like in the positive a little bit for the overall trade. And I really should have just entered, or I should have exited my last contract here as well. I tried to go for a little bit more. I wanted to get the full size scalp, and it was looking like maybe it would push through. And I probably should have just put my stop in somewhere to like guarantee it, so give me another chance to trade this account. And if you can, as you see here, it actually didn't go that much further than when I got stopped out. That if I had more drawdown, just a little bit more drawdown, I would have survived and eventually gotten out of the trade. So I think the Alpine thing is cool and can work. And at some point when I'm profitable, I would like to start at least playing evaluations more this way and not just accepting losses. I'm not going to do that yet until I've got my money back in my pocket and I'm profitable. But it's something I want to continue to develop as I move forward, because you can see that if I just had a little bit more wiggle room with the drawdown, I would have actually ended up being able to survive this trade. Even just to here, if I was able to survive here, I probably would have been able to get out for a small win for the overall trade. So this is where I blew up the account. You can see up here, this bought me some more wiggle room, some extra wiggle room, because this was where my original entry was. And I was looking to add another contract. And if I had survived this, I would have probably added another contract here, and I would have picked that up. And then, I definitely would have been able to get out of this trade around here. So it is a good strategy. At the end of the day, I don't feel bad about today at all. I feel like I did all the right things. Even now, seeing where I would have, seeing if there was just a little more drawdown, I would have survived this. I think I did the right thing. I think at the end of the day, I was literally just this close to making my red account a green account for the day. So it was worth the risks I put in. It was kind of just worth trading the way I traded. And overall, at the end of the day, I feel like today was a flat day for me, and I got some valuable insight into what happens on days where the charts don't hold up and play out the way I expect them to, according to my strategy. I can still go 6-2 for the day. Now, granted, I moved my stop in an earlier trade, so that easily could have been 5-3. And then I did miss a trade that I tried to enter, so it could have easily been 5-4. So I got to keep those things in mind too and be honest with myself. And this easily, my second loss could have easily turned into a win. So I could have easily been 7-1. So, it's just a matter of perspective and a matter of just how things happen to work out. But to me, the most important thing again is what I started off talking about earlier, which is protecting my most important accounts. And that has everything to do with how I'm going about trading my Apex accounts. Typically, my strategy is to trade an account and move on to the next one. Today, I didn't feel like it was a good day worthy of putting any of these other accounts at risk. I'd rather have a flat day on the accounts that matter to me right now. And blowing up this account really doesn't affect my overall standing with where I'm at. So again, I think I did everything right. I think I like that I was able to still get 8 trades today on a day where really after the first loss, I felt like if there was a different situation, I would have just been like, you know what, today is not the day to trade. And if I didn't have an account that I was willing to blow up, then I probably would not have even taken the first trade. I probably would have just said, you know what, there's too many signs here showing me that these charts are not holding up today. And I don't want to risk any of these accounts on what is happening with these charts today. And I probably would have walked away a flat day and gone right back to bed at 7 in the morning. And been happy with that decision. So, there's a few different ways to look at this, but it's also interesting to note for myself, for if I ever come back to this and think about this day, is even on a day where the charts are not holding up for my strategy, I'm still able to go 6-2 for the day, 75%. I'm still 10-2 for the week for 83%. And it's just showing me that even on a not ideal day, I could do well. And the reality is on this day, if I had played my normal strategy, it would have been slightly skewed. I would not have been six green and 2 losses. I would have been 5 accounts green and 3 accounts red. So depending on how that got distributed, it could have still been a really great day. I could have taken, a red on this account and a red on 2 other evaluations and been green on all 3 PAs and green on 2 evaluations. It easily could have been like, okay, well, it wasn't the greatest day, but it was still a great day for the accounts that matter the most. So you just never know. And that's kind of a funny thing. But at the end of the day, that is what's going to save me from like blowing up a PA account on the day like today. Like the worst that would happen is I take a hit on a PA account and I come back the next day and the next day and the next day and try to bring it back slowly. So I think I've said it all just about. Let's see. I did blow up this account like we talked about earlier, and I am what am I trying to say here? I am here live streaming every day, shortly after market open, about 15 to 25 minutes after the market opens for the New York Open. I begin my stream, and it's nice. Like even taking the losses I took today, even taking this red blown up account, I'm not getting affected by it. I'm not feeling emotional about it. I'm not feeling stressed. Like it was still an easy day of trading, and my brain's not overheating from all the analysis, and I'm not getting bent out of shape about losing an account. And so it's just, even just for my trading psychology, this whole strategy in terms of how I'm trading my Apex accounts and how I'm trading my actual entries is just working for me, where I just feel good about things. And even on days that are not a red day on an account, it's hard to look at it and say, okay, well, it was a good day. But to me, today was a good day. Like I stuck to my discipline, my strategies. I was well thought out. I made good decisions about how I wanted to handle things, and I knew what my ultimate risk was, which was $29.70 was my total risk that I had on the table today, trading just one account. So when I think about it in all of those terms, today was a stellar day for me. I was willing to lose $30 and protect everything else that I've got going on here. So I think I've said it all. 71% discount is going on. You can use this code or any other if you're interested in starting a journey on Apex yourself. I highly recommend using Apex. I think it's a great company. They're proven to pay out as long as you follow the rules. Just know the rules, understand them, and don't try to break the rules. And if you qualify for a payout, you will get a payout. If you qualify for a PA account, you will get it. There's no rules on the evaluations. It's literally just get to the profit target and trade the minimum amount of days, which, by the way, they're running a promo right now that all you need to do is trade your evaluations for 3 days minimum, reach the target, and you'll pass and get a PA account. So it's usually 7 days. They've been running the 1-day pass for quite some time, and now they've switched to a 3-day pass, which is the first time they've ever done that. I actually feel like that's the sweet spot. If they would just leave it at a 3-day pass, that makes the most sense to me, because I think people just blow up accounts left and right trying to pass in 1 day when it's just not necessary to try to pass these accounts in 1 day. Like, give it 3 days, trade normal. A lot of people can pass in 3 days trading normal. I probably couldn't. I need more days trading the way I trade currently, but there's no reason to try to pass in 1 day. Really, it's just being too aggressive. So 3 days, I feel like it would be a really good sweet spot for traders where they're not going off the rails trying to pass so fast that they'll probably pass in a more reasonable way, and they'll pass at a higher win rate. And so I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you're interested, my link is in my description. You can click on that, or you can use this code at checkout, and you'll get the current best discount, and you'll also have the 3-day pass until that runs out on the 14th. And I've definitely said it all 32 minutes in. So I appreciate everyone who's checking out my journey, seeing how this is going. Of course, not a great day for me, but not a bad day. Could be better, could be worse. It's all in the mind of your perspective of how you're handling your accounts. And to me, today feels like a flat day, and even though it appears as a red day on one account. All right, I've said it all. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, and hope you had a good trading day, and hopefully, better results than mine, and are profitable, and having a good week. All right, see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.